In Lesson 20, we're going to be dividing multi-digit dividends by two-digit divisors, and the answer, or the quotient, should be a single number. In order to do this, we're going to look at it through the lens of a story problem. So the story problem we're working with today is a 135 square foot bathroom has a length of 15 feet. What is the width of the bathroom? So first, we want to ask ourselves, what is the context of the story? What is the story about? And we know that it's going to be about a bathroom, and we know that we have the length, but we don't know the width. Then we want to take a look and see what are the quantities, and what do those quantities mean? In essence, yes, we have 15 here, but it's not 15 apples, it is 15 feet. So that's what that means. And the other quantity that we have is 135 square feet. So how they're related really comes into play when we take a look at the pictures. So in our picture, I'm going to draw a rectangle, and the reason that I know that it's a rectangle is because it says square foot, meaning that it's going to be some sort of square or rectangle. And when it's square foot, that means that the whole inside of my square would be the 135 feet squared. And to show that in abbreviation, it would be FT for feet, and then the squared would be the little exponent of 2. How they're related is this is the whole of our bathroom area, and then the 15 feet is going to be the length of the bathroom. So it's pretty obvious in looking at this drawing that we're missing a measurement, and that's exactly what the question is asking us. What is the width of the bathroom? Now, within our picture, we can also start taking a look at what's the action that we're doing in our picture. So in this picture, if we're trying to find the width, we know that we're trying to find about how many feet I would make going across. And the action that I'm performing here is I'm dividing this up. I'm separating out the width. And so the operation that would go with that action would be division. Next, in solving our problem, we want to solve our question with numbers. And with numbers, there are 3 things that we need to do to solve. When we're solving with numbers, we're going to estimate to check the reasonableness of our answer. Then we're going to solve it, and then we're going to check our answer. So with the estimate, we know that we're going to be using division. And so now we need to figure out what numbers go where. My number in the front of a horizontal division equation is always my whole. And my whole in my picture, the whole thing is worth 135 square feet. And so my 135 would go first. And then I have already divided it up into that 15 feet. So now, step 1 in estimating is to round your divisor. So in order to round our divisor, it's 15, so it's going to round up to 20. And then step 2 in our estimating is that we want to find a multiple of our divisor that's close to 135. So in order to do that, we're just going to take a look at our front number here and count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 14. And then I'm going to ask myself, how many zeros do I need to add to make it close to that 135? And I'm going to start with 1. So we'll add zeros down to make it 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, and 140. And now I can ask myself, which one of these multiples of 20 is closest to 135? And I have 2 here that would work. I like to go with the lower number, but either number would work. And so I'm going to have 120 divided by 20. So we've talked about in class, because this is technically 10 divided by 10, which equals 1, means that they can cancel each other out. And so I'm left with 12 divided by 2, which would be 6. And so my estimate is going to be 6. Now I'm going to go to my solve, and I'm going to set up my vertical equation. The difference is that inside my vertical equation, the whole goes underneath, so 135, and my divisor, or my size of group, goes on the outside. And now I can solve. So I asked myself, about how many times does 15 go into 35? And I'm going to use my estimate here, and I'm going to start with 6. And I'm going to see if that's enough. So I'll do 15 times 6 to see what I'm taking away. So 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. And so I have 90 that I'm taking away. And here I am left with 45. And I asked myself, can I make any more groups of 15 out of 45? And the answer is yes. And I can actually see I can make 3 more groups. So this 6 up here, I can make a bigger number. So I'm going to say, if I can make 3 more groups out of 45, I'm going to try changing the 6 to a 9. So that means I'm going to erase what I have here. And I'm going to try again. And this time I'm going to do 9. And I'll see if that gets me closer to 135. So in order to find out what I'm subtracting, I multiply 15 times 9. Which I got those numbers from the 9 up top and the divisor, so the quotient and the divisor. So 9 times 5 is 45. And then 9 times 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13. So now I'm taking away the 135, which I notice is exactly what my whole was, and so that would be 0. I can't make any more groups of 15, so I know that 9 is my answer. So to check my answer, I'm going to be multiplying the quotient of 9 by the divisor of 15. So I have 15 times 9, which I've already done over here, so I already know the answer, which is 135. If I had a remainder, I would add that to my 135, but I don't have a remainder, so I don't need to add anything, or I could show it as 0. So how we see if our answer is correct is we check and see, is this number the same as my whole, which it is, so my answer is correct. And finally, we want to have our answer in words. So we're always solving with pictures, numbers, and words. And really, we want to look at our question to help us frame our sentence for our answers. What is the width of the bathroom? So I'm going to take this last part of my question and put it into my answer. And my answer is the width of the bathroom is 9 feet. And I got the 9 from my answer here. And my feet, I know because when I was looking at my context and my quantities, that feet was the unit that we were using.